So let us move on to Nancy Gustafson. Nancy is on the faculty of the Bienen School of Music, where she is artist in residence. She is a soprano. She has appeared in Europe's major opera houses, including Vienna State Opera, Covent Gardens, La Scala, and the Paris Opera, and in the US at the Met, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Houston Grand, our Lyric Opera, and she is a native of our Evanston. Nancy, who is a world-renowned opera singer, became committed to bringing engagement-centered music programs to her mother and to dementia sufferers all over the country. And her program, Songs by Heart, was born. Nancy?
Great. Well, I first have to say that I feel a little bit overwhelmed being in the presence of all of you fabulous researchers and music therapists, because as Nina told you, I found myself coming from the great stages of the world to when people say, and where do you sing? I say, in memory care units. I only sing where people can't remember what I sounded like a few minutes afterwards. But the reason she's got, this is a one-woman show up here. Actually, it isn't. I've got a tremendous team with me here. I said, I don't have to say anything. Once I leash my team on you, you'll see what we do. The reason I'm here to speak about this is because a few years ago, my mother passed away from Alzheimer's. And when she was living with my father, when my father was alive, obviously, we in the family were kept hidden from the signs of Alzheimer's, so clearly my mother and father knew. After my father died, she lived at home with a full-time caregiver. A picture of my mother is supposed to be on that screen. Oh, not yet, she said. Sorry, I'm an opera singer. I'd love something on my brain when I'm having to figure out how that PowerPoint works. In any case, she lived at home with a full-time caregiver for 5 years until the caregiving at home became too difficult. In March 2014, my older sister moved her to a memory care unit in Southern California in Costa Mesa, not far from where my older sister lives. When I last saw Mom in Chicago before moving to California, she didn't recognize people, but she was walking around and enjoying life, stating frequently that her brain was like a sieve. Whatever went in it, went out again. She'd laugh at herself. Her apartment was on the corner of Lakeshore Drive and Diversey. She'd look out the window in the morning. She said, that is such a beautiful lake. What lake is that? And then she'd look at the city of Chicago. Such a beautiful city. What city is that? Chicago. So time, date, place, as we know the symptoms of dementia, time, date, place meant nothing to her. But she was very happy, which is why it was all the more of a shock when in August, just a few months after she had been moved to the memory care unit, my sister called me and said, I need your help. Mom has taken a sharp downward trend. So I went to see her. Mom was no longer walking, no longer feeding herself, and she was no longer able to put two words together. This is where I always start crying, so I'm going to try not to cry, even though I've told this story for a few years now. Mom couldn't put two words together. My sister said, when you visit her, if you can get two words out, you've won the prize. You'd say, Mom, are you okay? And she'd just kind of nod. Do you want to go out? No, you didn't know if she understood the question. I didn't realize just how painful it was to see one's mother looking so confused, so lonely, and so lost. She was unable to collect or express any thoughts, and it broke my heart. I tried to show her the family photos, tell her the family stories. I'd been told that people with Alzheimer's could remember what happened in their childhood. I tried to recall childhood stories for her. Nothing worked. I couldn't wait to get out of the memory care unit every time I visited her to burst into tears. And that was until one fateful day in October. Frustrated at being unable to reach Mom at any level, I decided to try music. I decided to try to get her to sing with me. So I wheeled her wheelchair over to the piano in the memory care, and I brought a hymnal. She was very good in the Episcopal Church, so I brought the hymnal out. And I thought, I'm going to play the piano and sing with her and see if this works. I have to preface this by saying very carefully, and I know our dean from the School of Music is here today. All the piano lessons in the world, if you have no talent for the piano, is not going to make you a world-class pianist. And some of my students who are here can attest that I 12 years of piano, and I am one of the worst pianists on the planet. Thankfully, my piano skills had nothing to do with my ability to sing. So I was very fortunate. I wheeled the wheelchair over to the piano, and I started playing. And out of the corner of my eye, I could see my mom starting to sing with me. And immediately, as the researchers have said, within the first song, she starts singing. And I'm just, getting all excited, and I flip, and I start playing some other pieces, and Mom keeps singing. This is a woman who had not put two words together. After about 15 minutes of singing, I turned to Mom, and I said, Mom. She looks, and she said, that's not very good. I know. I am presuming that she was talking about my piano playing. However, maybe my singing was also not great. Obviously, I was ecstatic. I wanted to run out of the memory care unit immediately and say, Mom talked. Okay, she insulted me, but she talked. So I thought, okay, I've got to try. I said, okay, Mom, I'm going to try the key of C. I'm going to try easier things to play. So I did just that. And I continued singing with her for about 20 minutes. And she kept singing, kept going around. And after I said, Mom, she said, that's much better. And I laughed, and I thought, she's reacting to me. And I said, Mom, if we keep doing this, it's only October. If we keep practicing, by Christmas time, we could go into the shopping mall, put out a cup and earn some money. My mother laughed and said, the Gustafson family singers. All of a sudden, Mom knew who she was, her last name. She knew that I was related to her, and she was cracking a joke. Well, I couldn't get out of that memory care fast enough to tell my sister, Mom, as they say, is alive inside. Mom is there. We tried the same experiment about 2 months later. And when I took I have a disabled brother, and I thought she'd recognize him surely because she had been his caregiver for 30 years. Didn't recognize him. I tried, I brought 2 of her caregivers who had been taking care of her. She didn't recognize anybody until we got singing again. And we tried the same experiment again. We wheeled her up. This time we got her entire memory care unit singing with us. And after an hour and a half, they told us to shut up. They had to feed them lunch. Could we please stop? So I left that place and at the end of that day, this is one of the most touching stories. There's Mom. I just have to preface this. This is not part of the narration, but me laughing is when I looked at Mom. I said, Mom, they're holding a fitness class. Do you want to go over in fitness? And she looked at me and she said, absolutely not. And I just broke into laughter. But on the second day of us singing with her, we took her to a shopping mall in the wheelchair, and she sat there and stayed connected to us for 5 hours. And at the end of that 5 hours, I brought her back into the place. I said, do you want to go to your room or the living room? Living room. She took my cheeks in her hands and said, thank you for a wonderful day, and kissed me. Well, you can imagine that I walked out of there and I talked to the powers that be. I thought, why don't they have music happening every day? Well, they had musicals playing on the TV every night. They'd wheel them in front. They had an activity of sorting socks by the color. And I thought, come on now, get her singing. They weren't going to do it. So what did I do? They had a music therapist who would come in once a week. I called the music therapist and I said, I need you in my mom's room every day. She could give us 3 days. And what was the first song she sang? You Are My Sunshine. She sang with Mom, and then I hired another singer to sing with my mom every day. They'd bring in an iPad, and they'd say, karaoke, My Fair Lady. And so the singer would hold my mom's hands, sing with her one-on-one, just singing songs. I'm going to tell you, we did that 7 days a week, because once we started to realize that Mom came alive once we sang with her, we knew she needed it 7 days a week. So we did it. My mom kept talking until the day a year later, when she died in her sleep at the age of 88. So needless to say, I left there saying, this is not possible that it's not happening 7 days a week. Why is this not happening? So I contacted a friend, Muriel Brunger. Am I jumping ahead? I hope I'm in order. I'm really bad when I go away from my paper. We tried the iPod therapies with Mom, and she would listen to the music, but it did not get her engaging with anyone. It kept her alone in her own little world. It kept her disconnected from the human touch and the heart and soul. She also didn't know how to tell people when the music was too loud or when the music stopped playing. That is why the music therapist was so important to us. The dental hygienist that she had contacted our family to say after one music session, Mom was much more conversant. She was able to watch a television show and follow the storyline and remember people's names in the TV show. This was the woman who wasn't, before music started, able to put two words together. So when I left the community and said, okay, I've got to do something, I contacted a friend of mine, Muriel Brunger, who is the administrator of community life at the Presbyterian homes and had been working in elder care for 25 years. She helped connect us to a fabulous team, a music therapist, and an expert in dementia care. We decided to do a 3-month pilot program to see if what actually worked with Mom would do the same thing with other people with dementia, because I thought, well, maybe Mom, because of me being an opera singer, or maybe she just reacted to music. Well, obviously, as everybody has been saying today, everybody's ability to engage and connect to the music and other people around them increased. So, as I've written, as all you researchers and music therapists have said, music really does make a difference. And now after 3 years of leading these sing-along programs 5 days a week, we can confirm what all the studies say. Interactive singing programs do increase the engagement of people with memory loss. It does help to improve cognitive skills. It is a huge antidepressant and almost immediately improves the quality of life. And it's so simple to administer and tremendously effective. Although all of our singers and pianists are trained by our team's music therapist, Jenny Cook, who you will meet in a few minutes, we do not claim to be a music therapy program because I haven't located, we need another 6,000 music therapists. I haven't located all of the music therapists to lead these singing programs. Our singers and pianists are professionally and classically trained musically with first-class musical talent. These are musicians who love making music and who love the people they are singing for. Oh, that's in California. In a few moments, our music therapist, Jenny Cook, will speak to you about the training each singer and pianist receives. Our singers lead 45-minute sing-along programs with live piano accompaniment. They connect with the residents heart to heart. They build relationships with the residents and grow to know what songs are effective for each individual. While one group might want to sing Irving Berlin's Always at the end of every session, others may respond better to ending with Zippity-Doo-Dah. In this following video, which Emily says I have to cue, you'll be able to see what a typical session looks like and hear some family responses and staff responses from the memory care units. Be careful, it was created a year and a half ago as a fundraising video. I know this is not a fundraising event. Ignore the thing that says a fundraising thing at the end. It's just I didn't want to spend any more money on another video when I can spend my money on putting singers and pianists in memory care units. Oh, sure, I'm supposed to press a button, except there's, oh, here we go. I follow directions really well.
Songs by Heart is a lot more interactive than some traditional forms of music therapy. So we try to use a lot more stimulation, so more dancing, clapping movement along with the singing. Just as long as we're together, it doesn't matter at all. Now that we all Before sessions, you could have anything from being totally asleep to being angry, and the music almost always has some kind of positive effect on people. Usually too, people are talking a lot more after sessions, moving a lot more, energy tends to be higher. So lots of different goals we have for every person, but somehow the music seems to touch everybody.
We try to be here 5 or 6 times a week for the different sessions. It's really a joy to watch the residents' faces when that music makes a connection with them, and she'll just start humming a song. Where did that come from? Yeah.
One of the incredible things that happens is that me as like a performer, like I disappear, and it's just, we're just creating music together, but it's that smile that just lights up her whole face, and she's doing everything in her power to let you know that she is having the best time and is so happy that you're there singing to her. To get to do that every day and experience it multiple times, I'm the luckiest person in the world.
They just make you feel so much at home, and they make my husband cry. He cries every time he's here, and then I end up crying a little bit.
As soon as the music starts, she just lights up and has a big smile on her face and seems to know the words to every song, just to get them to vocalize, to be happy and to enjoy. And I think it's the best program they have here.
Songs by Heart is more than entertainment. It truly is a therapeutic music program, and the benefits that my residents receive from this program are by far greater than anything I've ever seen. The caliber and talent of the people that come. I've seen residents that have difficulty putting sentences together that sing whole songs in their entirety. I will support it and continue to support it so we can have Songs by Heart for years to come.
The residents are really lucky to have us, and we're really lucky to have them, and together we're making something that's really beautiful and unique.
It's a great thing because I think sometimes families don't know what to do when they come in, and when they see their loved ones being so happy, it's easier for them to engage and know what to do.
Songs by Heart, I think, is a very emotional experience. My mom will tap out rhythms or sing songs that I didn't even know she knew. There are days when I can talk to her about it, and she actually has recognition of what's happened, and it's pretty wonderful.
For you and I, it's the difference between going to a live concert and playing, a record at home. It's totally different. So having it available to us has really been a godsend.
They are looking into, your soul, just touching in. And I don't know how you find the right buttons to push with individual people. I've just seen her open up. Hadn't been doing that until we were introduced to Songs by Heart. And when I see her smile, I smile.
If it went away, it would be dreadful, just dreadful. It's such an important element of their day.
If Songs by Heart left, I think it would be devastating.
We would do whatever we could to keep you here.
Seeing the benefit that they get from it, it would be very disheartening.
It would create a void.
It just can't stop. It can't. No. We would be missing so much, and so much would be taken away. That won't happen. Well, I hope not.
For myself and some of the other family members here, I think we feel very bad that it was not.
We just use that as a speculative question and say it's not going to happen.
I can't give that.
Just step out on faith and just go do it.
I've gotten better because I usually cry every time I watch that video. We conducted a second research project with the help of Northwestern, with Professor Stephen Demarest at the Beanan School of Music and Northwestern's Feinberg School of Medicine's Cognitive Neurology and Alzheimer's Disease Center with Dr. Darby Morhart and Silverado's Memory Care. They reported the following results. 1, participants who demonstrated high levels of engagement, singing robustly, clapping, dancing on the first day of intervention, continued to do so throughout the intervention and appeared to be most physically functional, which, as you know, as we were talking about other progressive diseases, the research project lasted 12 weeks, and at the end of 12 weeks, they were still going strong. Participants with greater cognitive or physical challenges, such as those using walkers or sitting in wheelchairs, engaged in more subtle ways, such as tapping feet or making eye contact with or holding the hand of the singer. Therapeutic tools introduced during several sessions to provide sensory stimulation, such as handbells and hand scarves, demonstrated increased participation among members. Song selection impacted participation, with patriotic songs resulting in the highest observable engagement compared to songs of other genres. Number 2 is Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Increased levels of engagement were observed with larger audience size, or if a CNA or family member sat next to a participant during the study. Participation increased as the singer used therapeutic techniques such as holding or rubbing a participant's hands and singing at the participant eye level. I have learned that while it is incredibly important to improve the quality of life for the people suffering from dementia, it is also crucial to help the family members of those dementia sufferers who, like I did, watch their loved one disconnecting from the world around them seemingly more and more with every passing hour. Helping caregivers is crucial as well. We can only imagine how difficult their jobs are. The more pleasant we can make their days, the better care they can give to their patients. We've seen amazing results on all these fronts. I'd like to share a letter I received from a daughter a year ago. Her mother developed early onset of Alzheimer's at the age of 59, while her daughter was just 24 years old. She sent me the following note. Songs by Heart has touched my life in ways I'll never be able to articulate. When Jenny and Caitlin come at 3 p.m. daily, I see my mom's entire demeanor and mood change positively. I've watched my mom, who is now in the advanced stages of the disease, connect and show happiness in ways I never imagined possible. Music brings my mom peace, and it makes her feel calm. Songs by Heart gives her a part of her life back, and it is my dad's and my favorite time to visit with her. The Director of Memory Care for the Senior Resource Group communities across the United States shared the following reflections. This one comes from the Hawthorne Court in Phoenix. One of the main values of Songs by Heart and of us and Songs by Heart is that we each strive to connect residents to others, build relationships, and offer commonalities that go beyond a simple, familiar song. Songs by Heart reaches deep into the soul, for at that moment in time, all involved are totally engaged, enraptured, and seeing the bounds of joy our residents experience, bringing closeness and value to relationships and joy. Now, some results that Senior Resource Group say are anecdotal but notable. A resident near the end of Alzheimer's journey, slowly tapping fingers to the rhythm of the music. Feet propped up and moving, initially thought to be an expression of discomfort until staff realized it's in sync. He's moving to the music. A non-ambulatory resident suddenly standing from wheelchair in burst of song. And I was telling Emily, I don't want that picture, he's not standing. The singer is actually trying to keep him sitting down because he was trying to stand up and he's in a wheelchair. Tears of joy, and I've had this so many times, tears of joy from a spouse whose wife, having not verbalized in many months, suddenly turns to him and clearly pronounces, I love you. A veteran, mostly withdrawn and disengaged, standing tall, mouthing words to the sound of the Army's official song. There you go. The staff who becomes thrilled to witness movement and actions they normally don't see residents do. I love this with the caregiver in the back going, oh my gosh. The families who cry at the sight of their parent totally transformed in a joyous moment. The staff, families, and residents who make it a point not to miss any Songs by Heart sessions. I love this. I remembered this picture. I told Emily, you got to put it. Joyce, I love music, exercise, people, and ensure to drink. But please take me to the first floor of music. And that's the Songs by Heart program that they do 5 days a week in their community. In the past 3 years, we've grown from 3 communities in Illinois to over 43. In Illinois, there's our list: California, Arizona, Texas, Florida, and Washington, D.C. We're in 19 in the Chicago area. We have over 1,000 people singing with us every week. And we have started collaborations with several opera companies now to help us bring the programs into their communities. The statistics about Alzheimer's in this country and around the world are just frightening. At present, 5.7 million people are suffering from Alzheimer's in this country alone. We feel proud that we have over 1,000 people singing with us every week, but there's a long way to go before we can even reach 1 million, let alone 5 million. There is no cure for Alzheimer's at the present. Some drug companies have even been pulling away their research dollars. But until they find a cure, I keep telling everybody, the way to improve their quality of life is literally one song away. Because the minute, as they said, I've heard in previous lectures, one song and it gets them going, a few measures and it gets them going. My dream would be to have thousands of singers, pianists, and music therapists making music with everybody suffering dementia 7 days a week. People would be singing, connecting, and smiling with each other. And now I'm going to turn it over to our music therapist, who will tell you how she trains our singers and our pianists. And then you're going to have a mini Songs by Heart session before lunch. So it will get you, reduce stress and all the other things they've said music helps us do. She says she doesn't need a microphone. Her voice is loud enough.
Hello, everyone. Yes. So our singers are trained, given basic techniques for dealing with the dementia population so they feel comfortable, engaging. We use a lot of techniques such as mirroring, improvisation, call and response, just to get people engaged. And you will see in a few minutes here a little bit of that. If you will, please allow our singers to dance with you, hold their hands. If you feel like singing, clapping along, now's a good time to do so. Thank you so much.
So we are going to start with a hello song. This song, we're going to try to sing like Miss Barbara Streisand. It's called Hello, Dolly. Will you sing with us, please?
singing today is either a graduate or a current student at Northwestern, but they are all our songs by heart singers in the Chicago area.